Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Sunday, the 5th of February. But first, a quick recap on Saturday's performance. Well, very disappointing. About 40 odd quid on, somewhere around there, and only a fiver bag. The only bet that we've still got going is the 50p on both teams have a player sent off. And even if that comes up at 40 to 1, obviously it returns £20. It's still not enough to show a profit on the day. So clutching at straws really. But these are the bets. Sorry, these aren't the bets. So a quick run through Saturday. So Ernest Gray kicked off the day. Disappointing. Straight away there was a non-runner which made it awkward because there were 7 runners, and then it was backed in from 6s where I thought it had drift into 5 to 2. So when that didn't come place, that was just like game over for that bet. Mr. Unnell ran a cracker, come fourth, just couldn't quite sneak that third place. I think that was 20 to 1. It ran a cracker without being able to quite get there. Dr. Dex was a non-runner. So the next bet was a Trixie, each way Trixie. The Wolf ran a decent race. It was tanking all the way round. And then I thought, this is like kind of won easily. And then it just basically just faded. So I'm not quite sure what's going off with that horse. Jet of Magic ran okay, got placed. Laskelin ran a decent race, had a decent chance of winning. It dropped back a bit. It was always racing on the outside. Ran a decent race and didn't quite have enough to win. I did think it was going to get to the winner once they jumped the last, but it didn't. The next bet, the Ferrymaster, no show from that. The Wolf ran okay, came unplaced. Laskelin came placed. Move the Chains was a non-runner. Smart Last ran its race, came fourth, I believe, which ensured the only return of the day. And Glory.com didn't really run a decent race. Onto the football bet, a complete no-show. 1-0, was it 1-0? I think it was to Peterborough, or 2-0 to Peterborough, I think it was in the end. Yeah, I actually watched a bit of that match, and I tell you what, that match was played at walking pace. It was like embarrassing. So then the other match was Bradford versus Mansfield. It got a bit spicy at times. Wasn't enough for a red card, but yeah, that was 1-1. And obviously it doesn't go on to Forest match now because obviously both matches actually let us down. So it's been a bit disappointing recently with the football bet, because we have been doing very well, and obviously the win treble didn't come up because Mansfield didn't win. So then we've got a bit of spam at bottom. Thanks for that. So let's get into finally Sunday's bet. So what I've gone for, I'm gonna have to adjust the screen slightly. What I've gone for 3 races. So I've gone for each way trebles and each way doubles and each way trebles. As you can see, there's the stake of the first one. So 20 pence each way doubles, and we'll get to the stake of the trebles in a minute. It's really naff racing today, but there are a few races where I think horses have got sneaks. I don't massively fancy the horses, but I think sometimes there are big established trainers that have horses in poor races. So let's get into this race. So this is a friend or foe is a poor nickel horse. So the first race is the 155 at Musselburgh, paying 4 places instead of 3. The selections are friend or foe and return ticket. I have not taken the prices on these horses. So let's get on to the next ones. So in the 3 minutes past 2 race at Hereford, they're paying 4 places instead of 3. This race absolutely stinks. It's a dreadful race. So what I've gone for, I've looked at the value, and Reign Supreme was actually running pretty well quite a while ago. Basically, they've all shown glimpses of form, these horses that I've gone for, but aren't particularly in the best of form at the moment. Some have been running on heavy ground, and I think they prefer faster ground. Some have actually been. Cobra Commander was in cracking form, and then was given what looks like a break, but then it's reappeared over hurdles since and not really done anything. So I'm thinking potentially it could be crying out for this chase today. And if it is, I think it's only got to jump round to come in the places, because it's an awful race. I'm telling you now. Have a look for yourself. And then the final one is Don't Be Robin, and that's been messed around with. And it's got a decent jockey on board. It's got Brendan Powell on board. So I think one of them hopefully could get into the places. Ideally, I'd like all 3 in, but it's probably not going to happen. And the 255 at Musselburgh is the next race. So there's some very big stables that have got horses in this race. I've gone for Shearer. So in the 255 at Musselburgh, paying 5 places instead of 3. I've gone for Shearer. And I've taken the price on that, and it's trained by Paul Nicholls. It was a favourite or second favourite in a Cheltenham race where it was unseated rider. It's not done a great deal since, so it's interesting that he's travelling all the way up to Musselburgh to run this horse when he could have sent anything up there. Same applies to Jason. This horse runs in the same colours as the Pied Piper, and it's trained by Gordon Elliott. Once again, he could have sent any of his horses to run in this race, but it's this one, and it's not particularly in great form, so it's quite interesting he's sent this horse. And the final one is Bardenstown Lad. Well, this has been run over chase fences, and I do not like horses that have been run over chase fences that then go to hurdles, but it was a much better hurdler. And once again, this John McConnell, he could have sent any horse of it. He's got some decent hurdlers. Could have sent any of the other hurdlers, but he sent this one that's been not running well over fences. And what's quite interesting is, 2 runs ago, in the Racing Post comments, the trainer was interviewed about why the horse ran so bad over chasers, and he said basically, it's not taking well to fences, and I think it wants to return to hurdles. Well, they ran it again over chasers, but now it returns to hurdles, so it could be quite interesting. It could well run a much better race because it's returned to hurdles. So so they're 20 pence each way doubles and 10 pence each way trebles. It comes to £12 total. If you don't want to stake that much, if you want to stake £6, just put 10 pence each way trebles. 10 pence each way doubles, 5 pence each way trebles, and that'll come to £6. So I'll leave it with you. So fingers crossed for today. We had a bit of a half decent run, or a couple of decent results. Poor day yesterday all round, and and let's see how today goes. If you're looking for, I'm not actually going to put a bet out there for the Forest match, but I do think if you want to get involved in the bookings or in the sending offs market, I believe that this is this is a 6 points, because I do believe Forest could go into 3-4 soon. I reckon that Morgan Gibbs Y isn't going to play, and I think he's probably their best player for Forest. I know they've signed John Joe Shelby. Now things could get a bit spicy with him in midfield, and I know Leeds like chucking a decent tackle in. So I think it could be well worth getting involved in the bookings or in a sending off mark again, or even maybe put a couple of quid on both teams to get one sent off, because it's an extremely important match. But what I must say is, I do think Leeds will win the match. I just think I've seen both teams play recently, and Forest are much better at home, don't get me wrong. But Leeds, the passing, the closing down is far quicker than Forest, and I don't think Forest will like it up them. But yeah, as I say, and if they don't like it up them, it could be a very feisty match. So yeah, if you want to, I've looked through the booking markets yourself and put your own bet on. That's up to you. I'm not going to tip anything up. You've seen my tip already. I thought Leeds were going to win. I've got nothing going on to it, and I also think it's going to be feisty. So I've looked through the bookings market or the sending off market. It's up to you, but I'm not going to suggest anything. So as I said, these are 20 pence each way doubles and 10 pence each way trebles, totaling £12. So the very best of luck. If you've got this far, if you've listened to me waffle for this far, give me a like, and then I know that you've got this far. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.